What's going on, you guys? It's Colton here from Chasing the Call. It is almost turkey season here in Iowa, and I'm starting to get everything picked up and ready to go for turkey season. So kind of got the idea of what kind of things do I look for when I go out turkey hunting. And you may be wondering the same thing, whether you've been turkey hunting for a few years, I've been doing this for about 5 years now, or you're just getting into it. Here's a video that you can use as a reference, at least for me. Things that I see valuable, you might not, but things that I see valuable taking out in the field with me. Alright, you guys, so the first thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have dialed in is your weapon, whether that be a bow, crossbow. For me, I personally use a shotgun, doing some running and gunning, and just how I've hunted throughout the last few years. I use a Benelli Super Vinci. So this shotgun I've had for quite a few years now. I still have my my waterfowl choke in there, and that'll be coming out here shortly as we're getting into turkey season. But I use a Benelli Super Vinci, and that is my shotgun of choice. I also use a Carlson choke. So this is the Longbeard XR. It's a Carlson choke, and I pair that with the Winchester Longbeard XR. It's a 3.5-inch 4-shot. My gun does shoot 3.5-inch shells, and it's just what I've gone out and patterned and found is a really good fit for me. And that's an important piece to this. With your weapon, you need to make sure you know where you're shooting at, whether that be with your bow, having your bow dialed in, make an ethical kill. Same thing with your shotgun. We want to make sure that we know exactly where we're shooting at with our target every single time. So make sure you get out there and pattern your gun. It might save you from not only completely missing a bird, but also wounding a bird. We don't want to do that either. So 3.5-inch 4-shot. Camera will zoom in there on that. Perfect. That is what I am running this year out of my Benelli Super Vinci. Alright, so the second thing you're going to want to bring out to the field with you is a call of some sort. And there's a few different types of calls. There's friction calls, whether that be a pot call. There's different surfaces with that too. Glass, aluminum, slate. My personal favorite is copper. So I have been using this copper call for a few years now. It's an Iowa Hunting Products copper call. You can check them out, www.iowahuntingproducts.com. Use code CTC10, you'll get 10% off. But copper pot call, that's my go-to. Also, you can use something like a box call, right? So if you've been out in the field before, box calls can get extremely loud. I bought this one when I very first started turkey hunting. It's a Primos wet box, so it says it's a waterproof box call. I haven't used it out in the water, to be honest with you, but it says it's waterproof. Just make sure you have some chalk, ready to rock and roll. Some other calls that I make sure are in my vest are going to be a crow call. I do carry this. This is also Primos crow call. Use that as a locator call. And I also then have an owl call that I take with me as well. That's just a call that I'll use early in the morning or late at night if I'm roosting birds. I'm also going to be taking out a goose call this year. Just do something different. Try and act a little bit different than other hunters. And a goose call is something that you could get to have them shot gobble and not completely throw off your location there on that. Next item that we're going to talk about, and this is more of a luxury thing. It's not something you have to have when you go turkey hunting, but for me, I have to have something to sit on, and in that case, it's a vest. So this is actually an Alps Outdoors vest. What I like about this vest is that it's got a cushion pad here that you can pop out, and there's also legs on this. If you can see that, there's legs that pop out on the seat. So whether I'm running and gunning and I hop up next to a tree, or if I need to just dive into a bush, I've done that before where I've taken cover underneath some bushes but I don't have a good backrest. This at least provides me some support, and since I fractured my back, I'll definitely take that. The other thing that's nice to have with this on a vest on the front side is access for all of your calls. So on here I've got my striker pouch. I've got my pouches here as well for my friction calls. Some other things that I've got over here on the side. I pop this open, carry my license and stuff in here up top, a pen, all that good stuff. My locator calls, so my owl calls, and my crow call is in there. I've also got my box call down here at the bottom. So if you're out and you're moving around, or say you're hunting, doing some scouting on public land, and you see a bird and you need to get after them right away, it's kind of nice to have everything already packed and in one place. Some people don't use a vest, some people just use a simple pouch, whatever you see as something that's important to you that way. But I like having a seat personally, and if it's something where I have to be really fast, I'll just leave this in the truck if I absolutely have to. But 99.9% of the time, this is on my back with me. The fourth thing that's really important when you're out turkey hunting is apparel. And I'm not meaning you got to go buy some top of the line stuff, but have some camo that's going to cover you properly. With your pants, with your face, with your hands. Turkey's number one defense is their eyesight. If turkeys could smell, it would be a heck of a tough time trying to kill them. So for me, I've had this camo for years and years. It's just an Under Armour Ridge Reaper camo that I bought a few years back. Got a couple different layers of it too. So I've got a thicker exterior jacket that I'll layer underneath with Under Armour shirts. I've got a lightweight one, which here in Iowa, it's actually snowing right now. This is the Thursday before youth season, and it is snowing outside. And then also just some pants. And I know these are flipped inside out. These are getting thrown in the wash here after that. Probably the most important thing though when it comes to your apparel is what goes on your feet. So for me, I like to make sure that I have something that I can walk through water with. If you're crossing a creek, if you're going through some really muddy, soupy stuff, if you're down in a bottom, having a solid boot that you can use not only through water, but also something you're comfortable walking in is super important. These are the lacrosse boots. I think they're the Arrow Lights or Arrowheads boot. They are an Arrow series. They're lightweight. I still have the muck boot at the bottom. I've had these boots for probably 3 years now, and unlike some of the other lacrosse boots that I've had, these have held up really well in the heel, which is awesome because if you're out walking around for a couple miles at a time, you want to make sure you have something that's comfortable. So make sure you have something comfortable, and for me, I've got to have something that's waterproof. The fifth thing that I like to make sure I have every single time when I go out to the field is my phone. Okay? And there's a couple reasons why. One, if there's an emergency, obviously some areas that you're going to hunt in, you're not going to have reception, but it's always good to let somebody know where you're going. Obviously plans can change, but try and give them a timeline if you can as to when you're going to be out. But the most important part, I think, is having an app like onX. And for me, I've had onX for quite a few years now. It's important to know where you're standing at, whether you're going to be going onto private property, there's boundary lines with that, same with public. If you're out driving around and you happen to see a bird in somebody's field, onX is awesome. You can press on the app, you can see where that person lives at. If you want to go drive to their house and try and get permission on that, or call them even, onX is a fantastic tool to have on your phone to make sure you know exactly where you stand. And I want to sneak in one last little bonus for you guys. Something that, for me, I always make sure that I have anytime I go out in the field, and that is permethrin. It's something that I would class in, I guess, with your apparel. I don't like ticks at all. I don't think many people do, and unfortunately when you're out spring turkey hunting, you find quite a few of them. I've already found a couple on me so far this year out scouting on the ground. Make sure you put permethrin on your clothing. That'll help you prevent from having to pick through 60 to 100 ticks like one of my friends did last year when we were out turkey hunting. You know who you are if you're watching this video. But best of luck everybody this year going out turkey hunting, whether it be your first time or you're an experienced veteran hunter. I hope you guys have an awesome turkey season. Please make sure to go follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Chasing the Call. If you guys do get a bird, I'd love to have you guys tag me in that Instagram post. I love seeing you guys being successful. So thanks for tuning in to this episode of Chasing the Call. We'll see you guys next time.